It's like Fortune 500 and yeah, and then it's the whole what do you have to offer?
Yeah, to me, most relationships should be a 50-50 type of thing. Maybe I was paying half, but you should come to more to the table than just, you're hot. There's 1,000 hot girls out there. If one thing
These days there
if
really
one thing
is.
Instagram is gonna show you, there's 1,000 hotties out there. So if you ain't coming more than that, you ain't get nothing. Any type of real guy, high value guy that has a shit together, he's getting tons of ass somewhere. Like you have to come in more than that. They want somebody who is going to provide value, help them, build them up. And if you're an idiot, that nice Gucci is only going to get you so far.
You're great in the bedroom and either because he can pay for that shit
Exactly.
too. Like,
That's the next thing. Yeah, I could pay for it. So it's like,
oh,
what's
I
the
get it
point?
for free depending
Yeah.
on who the guy is. So it's just like, so yeah, with that, I believe that, and I guess that's through the self-development thing too that you learn. And I think it's true. You have to become what you want to attract. So if you want a guy who works out, if you want a guy who works out, maybe you'll meet him at the gym. Have you tried going to the gym? You know what I mean? Like, when you want a funny guy, maybe you try become more fun. You want a clean guy, is your house clean, You want a guy who's going to cook for you. Can you cook? And by the way, I am very scared for my poor child and my future daughter-in-law because apparently none of you girls can cook these days, in the next generation. I'm going to need you all to get you some cooking classes. And I do not care for all the ones who are going to come at me with, oh, that is so sexist and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we can manage to do it all. And there's a time and a place for a man and a woman. I'm very modern, but I'm also conservative to a certain way. Chris cooks, like, I made the stuff today and he finished the meal. So, like, we can alternate, but I feed my family every day. Like, unless I'm not in the mood and we'll order something out. But first of all, I like to know where my food is coming from. Like, we've become so picky with stuff that I rather cook anyways. But yeah, like, it's in this modern age. She doesn't need to cook. And why should I cook? No, 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 no. And you know what? Like, it's nice to cook for somebody once in a while. Or cook for yourself. Like, just get you some cooking lessons, bro.
Yeah, trust me. If anything, that's at least one value you could provide is, oh, she's a great fucking cook. Like, to me, that's a big perk as a woman is like, every guy loves food, especially comes from your wife or somebody you like. It's even better. Because to me, at the end of the day, as a guy, I'd be like, then what do I have you here for? If you can't provide anything else other than your good looks, it's like, what do you do for me?
And then I kill it every holiday. Everybody loves to come to my house to eat. Like, I don't know. And I think it's a part of your feminine energy, but that's a different story because now guys be feminine but anyways, that's a topic for another day. So I guess now we can move into investment. That would be our next part of our segment. So investment, starting to invest and diversifying. Jesus Christ, that word is hard. Okay, I'm going to read a disclaimer, guys, word for word, because, we just have to cover basics. The information provided in this conversation is for informational and educational purposes only. We offer general opinions and basic research based on public available data. This content should not be considered financial investment, legal, or professional advice. Always conduct your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor or professional before making any investment financial decisions. We do not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, and reliability of any information provided. Any action you take based on this content are at your own risk. I feel like one of those things you hear on
I'll take a breath. You need some water?
yes, in the headphones. So for those who completely zoned out through this, we're not professionals. This isn't financial advisement. This is our opinion, and this is based on research we've done online. So do not listen to us for financial advice. Do your own research. This is just ideas and personal opinions and things we may do and whatsoever. So we're going to start with, I guess, my first take is you should invest what you could afford to lose.
Yes, that's definitely the first key. I mean, it's very intimidating talking about investing. It seems like people really struggle on investing. But to me, the thing is, it's something you have to do. It's part of growing up, honestly. But to me, the key is start from young. The younger you are, the more you accumulate over time, compounding. And you just need to start. It seems intimidating. You can't depend on, hopefully, you may become a millionaire later in life. Even if you become a millionaire in life, that million's only going to last so long if you don't invest it well and keep it growing.
Inflation,
Yeah,
baby.
inflation, which is going to be at a minimum 3% every year. So you'll be losing money every year.
If your money is just sitting there. And then one thing we've learned, because we didn't start investing or learning, I guess, about investment until like COVID time, when we were staying home and everybody was sharing more information.
It was a boom for everybody, I think. I think everybody saw a lot of more people started investing in COVID time.
Yeah. And I think there was so much more information and you had nothing else but being home with information and then jobs, people weren't really working. So you were just like consuming content. So to me, if you didn't start making a move then and everybody was talking about it, then like, what are you doing? Because you're supposed to like, you live, you learn and you apply. Like, and I think for us before, like you hear about investment, but you always think it's like for rich people. Like, like you have to be like a millionaire to invest. And I think around that time, that's the next thing. It became more for the regular person. And then they started coming for all these apps.
Actually, yeah, you're right. That is what some of the stuff was because all the apps changed and made things out open for people to invest smaller amounts because that wasn't always a thing too. I mean, I had an account from since I was in my college years that just went to shit because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just grabbed a few things and put it in. It went to nothing, and that was it. It wasn't until around COVID time is when we started getting into investing and learning it more. But the key is really just, as she said, take some money, throw it in there. The easiest thing to invest in is look at the major companies online. I guess stuff that you buy and you like. The Amazon, the Tesla's a hard topic these days, but Tesla is a good company overall. Tesla, Amazon, all the bigger companies, Apple, Facebook, the companies that have been doing very well for a very long time, the most likely not going anywhere. That's always a good place to start. AT&T, AT&T is a good stock because they also provide dividends. So, they pay every year. Dividend is basically every year they give you like a percentage of their gains. If they had a good year, they give you maybe like $2, $3 per share that you have. So, um, that's always
Start small. Even if you're um doing like $10, $15 a week, at least get in the habit of doing it. And then you can grow from there. Like your income grows or you feel more comfortable, then you can just start doing a little bit more.
I think don't be intimidated on the stocks. I mean, the thing what you have to realize is if you're a short-term investor or what they call a day trader, where it's like you follow the market up and down. Yes, do a lot more research, take some courses. But if you're doing it for long-term growth of, your retirement, stuff like that, don't stress the up and down. Every year, look at the history. If you want to do research, look at the history of any stock, whether it's, Nvidia, which is the hot one right now, or Tesla. It starts out at X price, and every year it's gonna keep going up and up and up and up. It's gonna do this all the time. So there's gonna be bad times, which is Tesla right now. It's a bad time because of the whole Elon political stuff. But Tesla still the price a year, 2 years ago was a lot less than it is today. So all it went, 50% down, it's still higher than it was, last year. So don't be scared of the gains. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about where that stock potentially be in the next, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Like if Tesla's still around, it's still going to be a very good stock, no matter what political nonsense is going on or stuff like that. It's a long-term investment. Now, if it's going to shit where it's like the closing, yeah, you might want to pay attention and get rid
Yeah,
of
you're
it.
losing that money.
Yeah, you're losing it. But all of the political stuff, this CEO did this, or the company, or this look like, let's say the whole getting into a different kind of throwing off a little, but let's say the whole when the COVID shots and it came out, the COVID shots are bad and they're killing people, the stock might have tanked. But guess what? It's a good company overall. Those bad little things is gonna happen. People are gonna forget about it tomorrow, and it's gonna go back up again. So don't stress those little, you buy a thing, they call it dollar cost averaging. Just buy what you can afford today. Buy it, forget about it. Keep buying over every year, every month, putting in something towards it. This is where we do it.
So also what we um do is I don't focus too much on the stocks. Like we split who learns about what. So he learns about stocks and I learn about metals. Oh no, he got stocks and crypto. I learn about metal and then we go from there. And then yeah, like we each have our department and that works for us. I'm super obsessed with metals, but we'll talk about that after. So they say the stock market has averaged 10% annual return for the past century. That means you're always going to gain your money. Real, what is it they say? Real investors tell you that when the market is down, it's a sell. It's time to buy.
Yeah, that's the next thing too. I hate seeing this whole, the market is red and fear and the whole panic that people put into the whole stock market. When things are down, as you just said, everything is on sale. Just buy that shit, dude. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be over. It's gonna change. The whole oh, it's crashing. No, it's gonna change. It's today is down. That's a good time to buy. All the rich guys, they save for these moments where everything goes to shit. Oh, the war is starting, all that stuff. That's when look at like 2008. The people who had money saved up, they bought all the stuff that was left. You can bank on when things go bad, when you have cash, that's when things do really well because you can afford to buy things
On
on
sale.
sale. It get discounted, you know.
Kind of like TJ Maxx of stocks and real estate.
Yeah, so don't be scared of things going on. When things are doing bad, you I guess the key too is also forget about timing the market. Timing in the market is hard for in the people like us, regular guys. It's hard because you don't know how much further things can go, whether it's real, manipulated, what political things can come out tomorrow. So it's always just good to try and buy. You don't want to buy when it's at peak, but don't always stress those things. Buy when you can afford it. Just throw it in there. Don't overthink it too much. It's not about today, it's about tomorrow, and tomorrow will be definitely better. So just buy it, put it on hold. But the easiest thing to do is buy things that are, I guess there's different ways of investing. There's risky investing, and then there's more reliable investing. The big major companies are the most reliable ones, but then there's the ones like we call the SPACs, where it's like a new company where it's a new hot shiny object. It may or may not be. It might go up, might go down. You might get it when it's really low, maybe at $10, but it could eventually be in the next 5, 10 years. It could be the next $1,000 company. That's how things work, but it becomes more risky because they don't have it. They don't have a good track record as far as history goes. So that's another tip too.
They say 6.4% of expected market return for 2025 with a 7.6% long-term annual average. And the US GDP is projected to grow by 4% over the next decade. Yeah, your money is always growing. So your savings should always be in something that's making you more money. Like it shouldn't be sitting. You should always have
Cash on hand.
cash on hand, like like savings account in cash, but you should have your long-term money investment invested in something that's not going to depreciate or that's going to beat inflation. So that's one thing I really started learning through 2020. Like your money really depreciate. Like if you have a savings account and savings account these days don't give you nada, like
2 to 4%.
nothing, like
if that high.
2 to 4% if you're lucky. At a conventional bank, they don't give you nothing. Now those online banks are giving you more, but I've been reading and seeing that they've been not like Capital One and stuff hasn't been like giving like the percentage they advertise, I guess, people. So that's been a big hot one. So
Seen some places offering higher. I think like I think Apple
It's
was doing
only,
it, but I don't know what the
yeah, it's
catches
only
were.
done online.
I don't know what the
Those
catches
online
were.
companies
Yeah.
give you better rates, but apparently it's been a freaking disaster. But yeah, but it's still better to invest, like just don't leave your money sit somewhere.
All right. So a couple of sites I guess I'd recommend as far as apps and companies. Charles Schwab is a pretty good company to get your stock spot from. The reason I like them, I think Robinhood has it too. Is another company
You mean to open the account to
open
get
account to get
started on
started.
investing?
Robinhood is pretty cool too. They have this feature where you can buy what they call slices. So basically, say if you have a budget of let's say $100, $200, you can go and pick from a specific list of stocks. I think it's about 500 or 1,000 stocks, and it'll just evenly divide it into whatever budget you have. So you pick 5 stocks at $100, it'll just divide it down. $25 for this one, $25 for that one, whatever. Which is something cool because let's say a stock like Amazon, I don't know what the current rate is, but it's maybe like $500. So you can own 0.005 of Amazon and keep putting into that over time. Also, you can look at apps like Acorn. Acorn is pretty cool because what they do is they round up your change.
Isn't there another app that does that?
There's another one called,
I think Kus was talking to.
I think Acorn is the one he has.
Oh.
And then there's one called Stash, where they kind of manage it for you, where you kind of just pick, I guess, from groups of stocks and they kind of put it together. So it's less, I guess, less stress of picking and choosing. And for my international people, there's actually something called eToro that basically they handle international brokerages because like stuff like the Charles Schwab and Robinhood, those are more for US based companies, but eToro apparently does it. I have not tried it. I don't know many who does it, but based on my research, eToro is good for international people. And they have a good long list of places that they cater to. As far as some YouTubers that I follow, you could look at ticker symbol U. That's the exact name. Sounds weird, but ticker symbol U. Andre Jig, he's pretty cool. And Minority Mindset, they are kind of more overall investing portfolio type guys, and they do a lot of.
Is that the Indian guy?
Yeah. So he does.
Because he said they.
Yeah. Well, they as in both.
Because I'm like the minority man since I follow him.
Yeah, but they do pretty much, I guess, more general finance.
I like him.
So yeah, he's pretty cool.
He does real estate.
Yeah. So, but they do, as I said, they do all types because they won't just do stocks. They'll do real estate. They'll do investing. They might mention crypto and I guess current events type stuff. So it's a very good overall one to look at. Stockmo is pretty cool. He's very more about the charts and specific companies. If you want somebody who's a little more, two people more outside the box, you could look at Wall Street Trapper and Keenan Grace. They're two pretty cool guys. They have a very unique take on their crypto spiel and how they promote it versus the preppy guys. It
sounds. I'm not sure if I've ever watched them. The Wall Street
Trapper, yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely. I feel like Chris came so prepared. I don't have any sites, any names for my section on metals. I didn't even think about it, but okay. When you're trying to make other people look bad.
This is how I told you I wanted to prepare.
No, nobody likes to show off. All right, that was some good info. Okay, so I guess
one thing I do want to add.
More show off.
I do have. I guess I won't show it to you here, but it'll be on the website. There is a chart. I don't have the details to provide here, but it do have my chat created a chart for me. Basically showed you how you can take your $250 investment over, I think, what was it, 10 years or something like that. And it's going to compare how putting your money in your mattresses versus doing your savings.
Oh my God, I want to see that.
Versus,
I didn't look at it.
Versus crypto, versus gold, versus investing. The best one, honestly, was crypto. Unfortunately, by a lot. But I think it's because crypto is the hot shiny object, but it's the most risky, I would say, at this point. But the gains are a lot higher if you can afford it.
You can bank.
You can bank on it, and that's, I guess, why it's rated so high. I think everything else was, was good, but crypto was like twice the range. But you guys will see it on the chart.
I bet.
But we'll get into
That's
crypto.
in the show
That'll
notes
be in the show notes.
that you download as the PDF on the podcast in the episodes. Okay, so gold and silver. I love metals. I became obsessed in 2020. I don't know how I got into looking into the gold and metal. I think,
Robert Kiyosaki, the gold guy.
yeah, actually, you see, it was Robert. But I've watched him for a while, but he's really big on metals. He has a good story. But it was also, I think, like, I don't know. I think maybe like it was, like I said, we were all home and things were popping up, and I started like, it became more of my vibe. And I became like,
Pretty coins.
yeah, I became obsessed. Oh my God. And they have these Egyptian collections. If you know anything about me, I'm obsessed with Egypt. So yeah, like, so they have like, I don't know. I feel like it's something you can hold and see, and it's beautiful. And, and when you pay attention to what it is too, it holds value. So metals are not to make money. Like, you're not going to buy 1 ounce of gold and then you're going to be a billionaire, like, Bitcoin or anything like tomorrow. That's not what it's for. Your metal is more to save your money from inflation. That's really what it is. Because if you bought 1 ounce of gold in 2020, I think you could have bought some for like $1,662 an ounce. That includes the spot. Spot is the profit they charge on top of the ounce value of the gold. So if you spend that in 2020, now in 2025, today, gold hit $3,000. So like you didn't like bank, but if I kept that money,
Almost doubling your
I
money is
guess it
banking.
is. But if I kept that money in a savings account, in a conventional savings account, like, like a Citibank or something like that, that's going to give, what is it? They give you 0.00. There's so many zeros in front of that thing, percent interest, that you made, what, like $10? And yeah, like, I feel like you're winning a little bit more, and it's pretty. And depending on what you get, depending on what kind of coins you get too, they have different values. Because at that point, when there's two ways of buying metals. You can buy like regular generic, metals. Like you can buy generic bars and you're just buying it for the value of the melted gold or the melted silver. And it is per ounce. Whatever the market tells you per ounce is going to be that. But you always have a spot over because people always have to do their profit, whatever. But when you're buying coins, the pretty one I keep talking about, like you have American Eagles, that's your USA coins, most popular USA coins, but you can buy Krugers, which is your African coins. You can buy Maples, which is your Canadian coins. So you can buy different country coins, and depending on the country, they have more value. So now, instead of just getting the value of the gold for melt value for ounce, you can add like $150 or $200 on top of that you would make as a profit, because now it's more of a collectible coin. So like it has more value. So coins are better than buying anything that's like generic. But what people don't realize too is like when you try to sell, like, actually when you buy jewelry, you're buying, jewelry stores are charging you an arm and a leg for nothing. Basically, if you're buying, and that was a hard truth to learn, if you're buying a no-brand generic jewelry, if it's the stock, let's say the gold is 3,000 for an ounce today, and then you bought like 1.5 ounces of a jewelry, not even like a precious stone, because unless it's a really rare stone, your stone has basically bare minimum value. So you're going to sell that ring and they're going to tell you, oh, they can only give you, no, they're going to charge you, you're buying it. Sorry, not selling it. This ring is going to be like $7,000. You just got. Because when if you try to get rid, you divorce that person or whatever, let's say it was a wedding ring, you try to get rid of that ring, they're giving you spot value on the metal they can send to melt. Well, so they say they can sell to melt. They will resell it to another person at an outrageous value. So basically, the point of the story is when you buy your gold or silver jewelry, if you buy non-name brand, stick to something close to the value of the gold that day because it fluctuates every day.
Are you thinking about the gold or gold with, let's say, a diamond?
Both.
I think your example was more on with like a ring with a diamond, no?
Well, it was on both. The hard truth is that unless you're buying like an appraised, very fancy diamond, most diamonds that they're selling you, they sell you like it's all marketing. Diamonds are rare and blah blah. No, they're not. So the value you're gonna get for it isn't much.
Yeah, when you go to the pawn shop and you try to sell that ring that you spend $10,000 for with all your fancy diamonds, you're not gonna get anything really for
And
that.
you thought you had something, but you really don't. They're not gonna give you. They'll tell you that, oh, I can't really do nothing with the stone. That's why I said if it's unimportant. But now, if you have a Cartier jewelry or something name brand, then you can get value because of the brand name.
Or maybe you have a certified diamond, something. That
Yeah,
might be
that's why I said a
different.
nice
Yeah.
diamond, like something higher end. But most people don't. So you think like, like your ring might be, but it's just emotionally worth 10,000. It's not actually worth $10,000.
And to be clear, what she's really saying too is that although you're buying jewelry, they do have a certain resale value over time. Because that gold chain you bought 10 years ago, if you sell that gold chain now, like a real nice solid gold chain, you might get a lot more money for it later on. So that's technically
An
an
investment.
investment by in itself. But people typically don't buy jewelry thinking, oh, it's making me more money over time.
Unless you're Indian.
Well, yeah. But that's it's a lot of money appreciating over time. Well, it depends on the quality of the gold and stuff like that. And if you overpaid, that's a different story for the gold to begin with. But if you got it at, as you said, a good decent price for the actual weight of the gold, then you're gonna get a good value of it
Yeah.
over time.
So that's something that Indian families apparently pass on that regular folks don't realize. Definitely not us in America. They buy all their savings in gold. Like you see like them wearing it and stuff, and it never has like a bunch of stones on it. It's just the gold because like you said, they bought it like 10 years ago at like $10. Like I'm just trying to do easy numbers. And then today's worth $100. They saved that inflation, like it still made money instead of depreciating. So that's an Indian thing that gets passed on that we don't know. But if you didn't know, now maybe you know.
You store your value worth, your net worth in jewelry. I mean, it's a pretty good thing to have, especially jewelry is something you can have, keep it, pass it down to the kids,
To
to
daughters,
daughters, whoever, stuff.
nieces, whatever.
Yeah. We've had bracelets from a long time ago until we got into this stuff. We never realized, hey, this is worth more than, we thought that we got like so long ago.
Yeah, that you realize. Or you try to go buy jewelry now, and then it's just like, no, because gold is so high. It is not a good time to go buy a good gold chain.
Yeah, we never realized that too, is that I guess as time passes by more, jewelry is going to get more and more expensive. What's probably going to happen too is I guess maybe that's why the rise of all that fake jewelry came about, is because jewelry is getting more
Plated.
gold plated, because jewelry is getting more and more expensive compared to where it was. Because as you just said, jewelry is almost double that it was, 5 years ago. So think about the chain that you might have been able to afford. Maybe you want to spend $500. That's now $1,000 chain.
Oh yeah, you can't find
You know what I
a
mean?
nice chain for $500.
So unless you really gonna want to spend that kind of money, which most people don't, you know, it's probably gonna be fake. A lot of guys out there stunting with those big chains that are fake.
Probably, unless you're really balling. And then the next thing, the difference between silver and gold, the ounce price of silver is so low, but that's because they play with it, because they use silver for everything in Teslas, in computers. There's too much of an industrial use of silver for them to let it go high as gold, which is crazy because technically, biblical ways and stuff, silver still has a metal value that should be higher, but they play with it because can you imagine if silver was like $3,000 an ounce, like your Tesla or your computer would be like, you'll be buying computers for like 10 grand and shit. So,
Well, there is gold in devices too, just so we're clear. Like an iPhone, I think there's gold pieces.
yeah, but I think they shred so little of it compared to silver, and they don't use as much of it as silver. But gold is still very undervalued too, but we'll see. Maybe they're going to let it rise. But yeah, and then one thing is, before we had fiat money, the dollar was actually most countries' money was backed by gold. So the they've messed up the value of gold and silver. But I think it's a very good way to hold value of your money, and it still will grow, but it's not something to be you're looking to be balling. You're not going to buy 1 ounce of gold today and then tomorrow you're a millionaire. But it holds value and it increases in value more than if you had it sitting.
What are some good ways somebody would get started into, I guess, looking into gold, buying?
So for me, I had asked, there was someone I knew that pointed me out to a Facebook group where he was buying gold and he had a lot more cash. So he was buying big. I was just looking for something small to have, like a couple coins of silver. So like, you're spending like $100. So nothing major. But since he was spending like, 200K or something, I feel like it was trustworthy. If he can spend that much, I think the $100 can go. So he pointed me out to that community, and that's when I started going crazy. Now the group apparently became spammy, last I've heard. So I don't think that would be a really good way. But the point of this was ask somebody you may know that may be investing in gold and silver, and then they can tell you who to buy from. But to start, if you don't want and you don't trust online either, you don't have someone to ask, you can look for local coin shops, which I think is a great way too, anyways, because let's say something happens to the internet or you want to resell your coin, you need some quick cash, you need to resell it or whatever. I think getting to know your local coin business owner, it's a good bet anyway, so you can like build a relationship. So just find someone local with good reviews. Learn, educate yourself first too, so that people don't take advantage of you. So you have to learn the lingo, spot value is the value over what they charge per ounce. And 24 karat and 14, 18 karat gold have different price per ounce. And then a lot of the Caribbean gold is 18 ounce. What you'll get usually at the jewelry store in the US is going to be 14 ounce. Your coins are the closest to pure gold, so they'll be 24, not ounce.
All right.
Right.
So you want to
So
get gold as closest to 24 as possible. So 18 would be great. The best one you said.
no, 18 is what you'll get in the Caribbean. Usually when you have 18 karat gold, it's someone who's got it in the Caribbean. 24 coins
I
are the
understand.
purest.
I'm just saying, let's if you're getting jewelry or something like
Oh,
that.
jewelry, yeah,
18 karat gold
18.
would be the
Usually it
best
would
one.
be the closest you'll get. I'm not an expert, so I don't know if people do 20, but 18 is the most I've seen. Like
What is a
in
decent
general.
What is a decent spot number that somebody could look at? So you said don't get cheated. What would be a decent number, I guess?
It really depends. Like
I know it doesn't matter.
I like to stay like, and then it may vary. So like I like to stay like under $100 for an ounce of gold. Anywhere honestly around like $80 or less is good. It's very hard to find. But if you build that relationship and you find someone who's decent, then you're able.
Then explain that spot. That spot might have been like a percentage or something like that. So what is
It can be a percentage or it could be a specific number, like a certain amount that the person might charge you over. So the person might be like, oh, I'll charge you $50 over. And then some people will be like, it'll be 6%. Oh, and then they have good websites, like big websites online. I can't think of one now. I'm going to put in the show notes a couple websites you could use that might be safer to buy, but they're going to charge you more on the spot value. You're paying more from those companies. Like And the whole point of when you're buying gold, you want to keep your costs as low as possible. So you want to keep your shipping low, your spot price low, so that you're getting it it's like a bargain. Like, you want to get it like as cheap as possible. So especially if you're buying it local to a coin, you won't have that shipping cost. You might be able to talk your way into a better spot price where on a online website you won't. But if you can't find that place, or you can't go there, or you're not comfortable, or you're like Chris, you're more of an online person, then they do have like good sites, like trustworthy sites that you can buy from. And those sites, if you buy like big amounts of gold or crazy amounts, they'll charge you a percentage to store it for you. So they'll store it in their vault. I like to see, if I'm buying something physical, I want to see my shit.
I mean, you ain't lugging
But
around bars
if
and
I
stuff like
was
that.
buying,
And for safety
if
reasons.
I'm buying $1 million worth of gold, yeah, I don't know if I want that, sentence. So it might be so like then you're doing it in a vault and stuff. But you can also put it local in a bank. What is it?
Safety
But not
deposit
bank vault,
box?
safety deposit box. So that works too. But yeah, like metals are pretty good. I think it's all about diversifying all your stuff. And that includes real estate. We won't cover real estate because we're not really real estate experts, but I think real estate is a good one.
I guess let's just touch it quickly.
Crypto?
Not before we go, I guess, on I guess ETFs there's a gold ETF, silver ETFs. ETF is what they call exchange traded funds. So I guess it goes back into the
I
stocks.
call it paper.
These weirdos calling it paper. It's digital.
Because you're not seeing it.
It's digital.
I think I got that from Robert.
So let's say you don't want to get into that whole complicated stuff of,
Buying coins and stuff.
storing it, good value, not value. You can do it the spot value. You could do the traditional way. Well, not traditional, but I guess the more modern way than just, physical
buying
pieces.
it as a stock.
You can buy it as a stock. So that goes based on the market, more with the market and how things are going. They do the little stock stuff in the background. They manage it. I don't know if all of them do it, but they might, I guess they maybe might back it up with gold. I'm not 100% sure. We don't really do those like that. But I believe some of them might back it up with gold, but they definitely would trade it based on the market. So as the same thing goes, it'll eventually over time keep increasing in value as well. And you won't get anything physical. So to me, it's like, if you're spending $100, spend $100 on something that's going to be yours. It's also good for, I guess, your portfolio overall, diversifying, as you
It's
said.
just like another stock, basically, for your stock portfolio, honestly. Okay, so crypto. That would be a Chris convo. Again, because Chris is the crypto guy. I'm not really interested into crypto like that. The only thing I'm interested about is, actually, it's not interested. The only thing that pissed me off is I remember like years back when I used to see this big influencer that was talking about, oh, you can invest in crypto with him for 500. And I'm like, what kind of nonsense? What is this crypto thing? And then now the price of crypto now, and I just feel like an idiot.
Yeah. Another story to add to that. Well, you know what? Let's get into, I guess, what is cryptocurrency. If you don't know what it is, hopefully you should have heard Bitcoins. Right now, I mean, it's like the hot, shiny object. Crypto is just digital money to some degree, digital currency. I guess it's the non-paper version of money or gold. Bitcoin is said to be the new digital gold store of asset. It's been good so far. I mean, as far as the hedge against inflation.
If you're doing a history on crypto, it's also used to be for perverts and inappropriate people to buy stuff on the black market. I would like to totally say that.
Yes, and I guess I could throw in my little story here too with that. Well, maybe I shouldn't say the exact details, but I bought crypto a long time ago to buy some stuff. That thing insanely illegal.
I can only imagine your sister, somebody's face watching this like, oh my God, we need to stop this.
But yeah, I bought Bitcoin to pay for this stuff. And, now I wish I had saved some of that stuff because I would have probably had some, no, I didn't use that much of it. But if I was at least introduced to it at the time, and if I really knew where this would have went, it would have been crazy to have had anything. Now, I think when I looked at that account, I probably had like pennies in the account because I basically zeroed it out, at the time. But it's crazy that I was involved in it somewhat. I didn't know where this was going to go. I didn't even know really what it was as far as the value thing. I just knew it was a currency that they wanted me to send them money in, and they sent it to them, and that was it. I didn't really think of it anything crazy, as you said, like the whole black market and crazy stuff like that. But that's just what the website used, and yeah, that's what they wanted to get paid in. Not one of the ones with all the drugs and all that stuff. That's not what it was.
Just keep moving. You're making this work.
Anyways, cryptocurrency, I guess, is scary because I guess if you follow the news on which side you follow, it's scary because there is a lot of bad side of it, as she's already mentioned. There's the scammy side of it. It's not only scammy stuff that happens. I guess it does happen a lot more, but although to me, I believe the whole cryptocurrency is just downselling the whole story. I do believe that it's gonna end up being a bad thing to some degree, that become more trackable. To me, it's easy. I mean, you're creating a whole digital footprint to me to some degree, but I guess there's maybe ways, different layers and stuff like that. But that's another story.
Well, no, I would like to touch on that because it's not possible. It's going to happen. First of all, I'm the kind of person when the government starts getting involved, right? And you're going to tell me the governments are starting to invest in crypto and push crypto. It is no longer for the people. It is, let me tell you what's going to happen with crypto, right? This is why I like to see stuff in my hands, coins and stuff. Like, you know, crypto is great. Like if you're to make money now, if you have big money and then you can have money next week, I love crypto for that. But for the long term, I don't trust it. And then the government gets involved. Now they want to have their own cryptocurrency. I promise you it's going to look like this. The IRS is going to go into your account. If you thought like the IRS could just freeze your account and take your money from 1 minute to the next, watch until you have crypto and they try to take away cash. First of all, people hate cash, but cash is your friend. You know why? Because Uncle Sam can't come and just take your cash if you have it in your hands, right? Now, crypto, they can track and it's on the computer, it's digital, it's like a Tesla. They can stop you anywhere on the road. An electronic car, I hate that. They can take your money anytime they want on that computer, even worse than a bank account.
Okay, now here's I guess the different side of that story. Yes, you can. And it also depends on, I guess, how shady or not you want to be. But there's different ways of sending it. There's different coins. There's the Bitcoin, and there's Bitcoin you can send to this one, to that one, and different accounts and different exchanges. Because that's where your money really goes for people online. It's into different exchanges, which I guess, like, let's say Bank of America would be like an exchange type of scenario. I guess as an example. And so you send it to Bank of America, and then Bank of America sent it to somebody else. That's what an exchange is, which I'll go over some different ones that I would recommend. But you can store your money on the exchange. But the thing about Bitcoin as currencies is that's where the problems really lie, is when you leave your money on those exchanges, because they could be hackable. Bitcoin itself and a lot of cryptocurrencies are very secure because there's millions and millions of numbers that basically have to put together this code to crack it. But it's like anything else. Once it's on those exchanges, they're basically big computers, so they're prone to be hacked. The way around that is what you call a cold wallet. Cold wallet is basically like a little USB stick that basically you would remove it from that, and what they call self-custody. So you send it from digital money on the exchange and the internet to basically like a little USB that's not connected to your computer. You can go and hide it somewhere, possibly lose it.
Don't lose it, and do
possibly
not
lose it,
forget your
and
password.
don't forget your password. That's the one thing that
I saw stories.
that I like and I don't like about that concept is what they call is your own keys. So let's say you don't remember what your password is, stuff like that.
Your money is gone forever.
It's just gone. Like, that sounds. Imagine losing millions of dollars to me on this thing you threw away, or I don't have a password to my thing, and you can't email customer service. I got locked out. Let me reset my password. It doesn't happen like that. They give you what they call some keys to recover your account. I couldn't even imagine losing millions of dollars. I'm just getting paranoid thinking about that right now. Losing millions of dollars just because you lost it, fire burned down, your little stick got whatever. It's just crazy.
Pros and cons.
Yeah. That's the pros and cons of that. Okay, so there's Bitcoin versus altcoins. Altcoins is basically everything except Bitcoins. So there's stuff like XRP, Ethereum, you know, they all have, let's say, the top coins. And this, when you're investing in crypto, stick to like the top maybe 20 coins. That's really the less.
20?
There's thousands.
Yeah, but that seems like such a big number. I thought you were going to say like the top 5, top
Well,
10,
yes,
20.
each of them, honestly, with cryptocurrency, they all have their pros and cons and they do different things. So you pick where your risk tolerance is. And that's why I say risk, because there's a lot of risk and reward, and that's where people get screwed. Meme coins, just if you want to gamble your money away, meme coins could work. You could become a millionaire overnight in meme coin, or you could become broke as shit.
But so people know, you can also buy, you do not have to have $1 million to buy a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
you can buy small pieces of a coin.
Bitcoin is whatever it is, you get 0.001. There's no such thing as you have to buy full shares. Bitcoin is 30,000. Well, not even 30,000 anymore. It's what, almost 100, depending on what month we're in. $100,000. You can buy $100 in it, and you own 0.0000 something of it. And the idea is to keep over time adding to it.
That's better than nothing.
But again, it's back to the whole the stock thing I said. Forget about the numbers. Just buy it, save it, keep adding to it. If you followed Bitcoin from 5 years ago, that was maybe $25,000. That was $100,000. It's how many X's since then? 5X since, that time.
That's crazy.
So just in that, and that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one that I would say has the least gains as far as cryptocurrencies go. Like there's different coins that will 10, 20, 30x in value since 5 years ago. But Bitcoin, I guess, is the most stable and risky one, and probably the one that has maybe the most, what they say, use case and store of value. That's the one that the government is getting involved with. The most people want to say they want to pay with.
It's the popular guy. That's really what
it's really
it
the
is.
popular guy. And it has a whole story behind it and security and all that type of stuff. All the big money guys that invested in Bitcoin. So if anyone that's not gonna go to shit is Bitcoin. If you want to be safe, buy Bitcoin. If you want to take a little bit more gamble with higher returns, the top 5, 10, 20 coins might be the safest bets.
I don't like to gamble.
If you're young, do it. If you're older, take the Bitcoin. We're still pretty young, I would like to say. So I feel we could hopefully play with that a little bit.
That's what old people love to say.
But don't stress the numbers. The same thing in the stocks. When things are red, things are going to shit. Buy it. Bitcoin was 100,000. We're now to 80,000. Buy it. It's going to go back up again. That 20% loss sounds like a lot, but it's on sale. Buy it.
Yeah, do not panic sell stuff, please.
And don't panic sell. Oh, it's going down, sell it. No. And back to, I guess, when it comes to if you're into taxes and stuff, that's another thing too. When you sell it is when you actually take your losses. I guess in crypto too. You don't lose anything until while you're holding it. Until you sell it is when you take your losses. So you could just hope maybe you lost 20%, but hold it until it goes up and then, maybe sell it at that point. But you don't lose anything until, you sell it. So that 20% loss is not a loss. It's just on paper showing you that it's went down. Just wait until it goes back up, and if you have to sell it. But you don't really lose anything until you sell it. So don't panic sell. Oh, it's going down, it's going to crash. No, it's not going to crash. Just hold on to it. Buy more. Don't be scared. Don't panic sell. I guess you touch on the cold wallets. A couple exchanges that you can, if you want to dabble into it. Robinhood sells crypto. I'm not a fan of Robinhood. They've had some shady stuff going on. Not a fan of them, but people do love them. Binance is another good one, but they're mixed with China. They're owned by Chinese companies, so If you don't like China too much, then I would avoid that one. Coinbase is US based. Uphold is another one. International people, especially, Uphold is pretty good. If you want to watch some YouTubers, I like Bitboy Crypto, Coin Bureau, and Altcoin Daily. Those are pretty good follow pages that I follow. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, I'm just going to close off this segment because we're going a little bit over time. So basically, just to recap, patience and discipline. Keep always investing over time, no matter what the market is. Do not emotional invest. Have a budget for your investment.
Oh, that is key. Just touch on that again quickly. Budget something every month, please. Just figure out some
Yeah,
kind of a
even if
number.
it's $20 or something, just start with
start with
something.
something.
It's the habit.
Don't go crazy, overstressing it. Just put in, buy something, get into it, get your feet wet. $20, buy it. You feel it. The hardest part is just pulling that trigger on $20. $20 is not going to kill you. Just go ahead and put something in, and once you see how it goes, you'll feel more comfortable going ahead after that.
Don't chase trends and invest in what you understand. So do your homework. Maybe 1 hour less of Netflix and an hour more of one of the maybe guys Chris mentioned. Thank you. And I guess that's it.